Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Rodolfo Gutierrez with GoEngineer. I am a tech support engineer, and in this video I'd like to show you how to create a shared toolbox. So this will help you standardize all the hardware that your group uses in all of your models. Some of the drawbacks are that you'll have an extra piece of software that you have to worry about whenever upgrading from one major release to the next. Also, depending on your network speeds, there might be an issue there as well. So those are just some of the things to look out for. Now, the gist of the process is really simple. It's just to take a copy of your SolidWorks data folder that normally lives on your C drive. Make a copy of it, paste that on the network, on a network drive somewhere in a folder location where people have access to. Then we'll have to tell SolidWorks where the new home of the toolbox is by changing some of those settings. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is my assembly, and as you can see I have 4 instances of screws here. So the first thing that I want to show you is if you go to File, Find References, this is where you know where those files are being pulled from. So in my example, they're being pulled from the C drive. This is my SolidWorks data folder. Okay. Now my SolidWorks data folder, I renamed it to SolidWorks Data 2016. I did that when I was installing it, but most likely you have a SolidWorks data folder by itself. So let's go into our C drive, and so once again, you'll most likely just see SolidWorks data, or if you have installed multiple instances of SolidWorks, you'll see SolidWorks data parentheses 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. So our first step is to right click and copy this folder. We're going to go to our shared location. We're going to right click and paste. And while this is pasting, very important to note is that SolidWorks data folder, that's where your toolbox database file lives. Okay, so your toolbox is it's a database that keeps everything nice and neat and organized. That's also where your custom hardware lives as well. So you don't want to mess with the folder structure of this folder. Okay, so that's very important. I'm going to pause the video while this thing finishes up. Okay, alright, so that finished pasting. So now we need to go back to the C drive and rename the old toolbox, the local toolbox. And the reason behind that is because we need to force SolidWorks to look elsewhere other than the original folder, local folder location. So I'm going to do _local, hit OK. That is because I have SolidWorks open. So let's go ahead and close this guy out. Alright. Okay, so now we have moved our toolbox from our local drive to a shared network location somewhere. Okay. When you do that, you need to make sure that all of your users have read-write access to this folder, okay, on your server. Okay, so that's very important to point out. Alright, so now let's go ahead and launch SolidWorks. Now upon launching SolidWorks, we'll see 2 error messages which are totally normal because we have changed the location of where SolidWorks is expecting to find that database. Okay, so let's go and launch SolidWorks, and the first error message that you'll see looks something like this here. So database is missing. That's okay. Hit OK. Alright, so now we'll go into our system options to change those settings to tell SolidWorks where to go look for that toolbox now. So go to options. We're going to go to Whole Wizard, which is where your next error message will be. That's fine. That's the database file that I was mentioning to you. Hit OK. Okay, so we're going to browse to our new home of the toolbox. So in my case, it's going to be in the F drive. So you want to select the SolidWorks data folder. Okay, once again, you don't want to mess around with any of the folders in there. Okay, hit OK. Alright, so a couple of other settings to change. Go to your external references and make sure that this option is selected. Search file locations for external references, because we have changed the file location of the toolbox. We need to make sure that we're telling SolidWorks to go fetch elsewhere. Okay, and then when we do that, we need to change the file location of our reference documents. Okay, so we just need to make sure that you have this SolidWorks data, your new toolbox location there. okay? And then we're gonna hit OK. All right. So now let's go ahead and open. Let's go ahead and open that assembly back up, and you'll see where the new folder locations for those toolbox components are. So while this guy is opening up, we'll go to File, Find References, and now you see that those screws are being pulled from the F drive setup. So I hope you had fun. Thanks for watching. This is Rodolfo Gutierrez with GoEngineer.